welcome back to the Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything in gaming. Now, quick show of hands, who plays Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC? Okay, that's cool. Now, who plays Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC and is also clinically depressed? Same hands, I'm pretty sure it's the same hands. Now, I'm not trying to knock Grand Theft Auto Online, it is what it is. It's a very microtransaction filled game. It's milked beyond recognition to this point. There's flying bikes, orbital cannons. You can't really step into a lobby without seeing the most craziest shit you've ever seen in an online lobby in your entire life. That's just what it is, I've learned to accept that all these years playing that title. But when it comes specifically, all versions of the game now, but really the PC version, it is just an unheard of type of cesspool with that game because, PC is the mecca of where all the mods and hackers come to play, and especially on Grand Theft Auto 5, because this game for the longest time has just been unsupervised when it comes to its online lobbies. And you're either on the side of having fun, just fucking around with the mods, or you're like me and a lot of players that actually try to take it seriously and have to deal with all the bullshit in between of the grind of the game itself. You also got to deal with what the players are doing. So it's a pretty big cesspool that even at times is dangerous just to exist on the lobby because people like to exploit, and there was a time where it wasn't even recommended to even go online just for the risk of getting your entire device hacked. Like, what kind of shit is that? It's pretty bad on Grand Theft Auto Online. But finally today we got some interesting news regarding the security of Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, apparently today there was an update for Grand Theft Auto Online, and in that update it was spotted by 𝐶𝐂2, the guy that pretty much sees all the leaks and rumors within this game, that Grand Theft Auto Online now uses BattlEye to protect its online game. Now, if you don't know about BattlEye, basically this is a really well-known anti-cheat system. I don't know why I just said it like that, anti-cheat, what the fuck? Anti-cheat system that runs at the kernel level of your hardware, basically the root, like the base level of your hardware, and it runs in the background of your game to make sure you aren't doing anything malicious and running any third-party apps that'll give you the craziest mod menu and just fuck up the entire lobby. And it's used by some of the biggest online titles out there. Most notably the one I come to think of is PlayerUnknown's Battleground, PUBG. You see it uses through Arma, Ark, Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, this is a pretty, notable anti-cheat system that being implemented with the purpose of hopefully reducing the amount of hackers that we see in GTA Online. Now, there's a lot of, surrounding controversy with not just BattlEye, but with anti-cheat systems themselves, since they run at the kernel level and people are, concerned with their security just off that. Plus, there's been rumors of these programs slowing down your system performance depending on, how well your grid can run with things in the background. And then there's even the talk that these anti-cheat systems don't even work. Like, people are already making Reddit threads and Twitter posts saying how some of the biggest mod menus that Grand Theft Auto Online PC users have are already talking about bypassing this and making new versions of the mods that'll work even with BattlEye in your background. So it is common sense that people are going to find workarounds, but hopefully this will at least slow them down for a little bit. It's probably not going to be a lasting piece, even if it's only for a week, at best maybe even a month. Not have to deal with players turning on God mode and then them spawning you into the middle of the Paleto Bay and then you can't do anything about that. I'll take that any other day, man. I don't care. So yeah, for the first time in 9 years since its 2015 release, anti-cheat is in Grand Theft Auto Online PC. Next, let's move on. The Wizards are rejoicing over Battlefield and this series' next iteration, as today it was heavily talked about by head of Respawn Vince Zampella and what this next game is going to look like in the future. Now, they even did the liberty of sharing us their first concept art for the game, where it kind of looks like it's taking someplace in a European city. You got these hilltop buildings that look really proper fucking Armageddon going on in the background. This is a beautiful sight to see. I've never been so happy to see destruction in my life. But seriously, Battlefield 2042 is a game that was able to bounce back eventually, but for the first year-ish and a half of its release, it was a terrible game, in my opinion at least. It was bugged out, maps didn't work, there were a lot of server issues, it was just really bad. And plus, add on top of that, the gameplay kind of changed with Battlefield 2042. Like, they replaced the class system with the specialist, which I really did not find fun. They upped the servers to up to 128 players per map, which would have been cool, but again, the server issues at the beginning was really shaky, so half the time I didn't even get into any of the matches. And the title just wasn't received well from the diehard Battlefield fans that were there for the days of Bad Company and Battlefield 3, when the game, you could argue, was at its peak and people enjoyed it the most. But luckily today, Vince, he told people that, this upcoming Battlefield game that they're working on is going to return to a modern setting and go back to the basics in the same style of Battlefield 3 and 4, which is really cool to hear. Not only that, but they're also planning on removing the specialists from 2042 and going back to a class-based system, which I have no idea why they even did that in the first place. But the title's going to be worked on by 4 of EA's development teams, with those teams including DICE, Motive, Ripple Effect, and Criterion. Now, admittedly, I don't know much about Ripple Effect. Obviously Motive is the people that's behind Star Wars Squadrons. They're working on that upcoming single-player Iron Man game that they announced about like a year and a half ago. DICE has always done Battlefield, and Criterion, I only know them for Burnout Paradise and Burnout, the games from the yesteryear. They need to make another one of those games. I miss that so bad. So they're banking a lot of chips on this next Battlefield game, and they claim that they really want this to appeal to the nostalgic side of gamers that play Battlefield 3 and 4. Like, they mention it a lot in this entire interview. So the fact that this is going back to boots on the ground in a modern setting, it's rubbing players off in the right way. But I think what we need more of, we don't really need a clone of Battlefield 3 and 4. Those games were amazing in their own right and are definitely classics, but I think what EA really needs to stand out now, especially since the talk of Call of Duty is, still a thing, I think they just need to find something that they can innovate within the series. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they could work on making this title as fun as it could possibly be, not as profitable. Obviously it's still a business at the end of the day and they got to make their money, but instead of going towards any sort of live service route or any sort of paid cosmetics route, or overall just shit mechanics like the specialist system that nobody liked, if they could just make this game as fun as possible, I think that is the perfect step in the right direction for EA and Battlefield. Everything is still in early production, with development only starting earlier in the year, but they said that they have a program that they're going to be announcing next year for players to participate in. Now, whether it's some sort of beta or controlled playtest, it's yet to be seen. But we have that to look forward to, and you have to sign up on the EA website, which I don't feel like doing because I hate making accounts for all these different fucking companies. It's just stupid. But the community trust is what they're aiming at the most with this title. So hopefully they can regain it by giving us a good game, because that's the only way they're going to be able to get this trust back that they kind of tarnished with 2042. But of course, we just have to wait and see what happens with that. So last topic. Okay, I kind of admit this is kind of cheating on my part, alright, my bad. But I gotta talk about EA yet again, this time with another one of their franchises that they like to milk, being the Sims franchise, because the Sims is one of the games that is really near and dear to my heart, just because I love chill games, cozy games that I can just play while I'm watching anime, and The Sims and Dreamlight Valley are those two titles. That's it, that's all I play when I'm not playing anything else. And today they said some really interesting stuff regarding The Sims 5 and their overall future for The Sims. Now, if you don't know, EA, they've been going hard in the paint with Sims 4 as of recently, not slowing any down 10 years later after the game's release, with releasing new expansions and content packs for the game. Even one coming that they announced just next month. It's crazy. They're still going crazy with this game that doesn't even have cars in it yet. What the fuck is that about? But alongside the movie that they finally formally announced that we already pretty much knew about for a Sims movie, they also stated something kind of weird about the Sims games. In addition to the creation of the Sims Lab program, where they're going to be showing new experimental ways to play the Sims titles on various different platforms and different games, they say that the Sims will move beyond a linear sequential Sim release format and instead offer more options for players to play than ever before. We're focused on creating a variety of games and experiences that will touch different categories across the simulated life genre, including cozy games, social and collaborative based gameplay, mobile narrative games, continued depth, improvements, and monetization of The Sims 4. More Sims 4 DLC. To which EA's Vice President Kate Gorman told people that, they want to step away from the pattern of making releases that replace the last iteration of the Sims franchise, and instead making all these new experiences that all grow and develop together. So when the next Sims title comes out, they're still going to be supporting the Sims 4, which we've known about. They said that earlier, but now we specifically have someone saying that it's not Sims 5's as a replacement for 4. Now, we thought that this Sims 5 was Project Renee, which they showed in a live stream earlier in the year, a single and online based title that's supposed to be a new revolutionary way to play The Sims and whatever it's going to look like. But it seems that EA has to finish dipping their toes in the pool of The Sims 4. And honestly, you know, for the people that play it, it's cool. I still play it. I just wish that there was more to get out of the value that you paid for all those expansions and content packs, because there is a lot of content that they just milk out of this title, and it really, I hate it. Not to mention the fact that Project Renee is going to be a free title, so we already know what that means as far as, you know, how they're going to make their money back for all this game. But we still do have the horizon of games like 𝐂𝐻𝐿 and Paralives that are finally some worthy Sims competitors that are on the horizon. And, you know, even 𝐂𝐻𝐿 are garnering an entire community right now that's going insane on social media and YouTube. But it's reasons like this that we can see that Sims has an insane monopoly on the life simulator market. The fact that they're not only gonna keep doing what they're doing with The Sims 4, but also add a free-to-play Sims game that everyone's gonna hop on and pay into like nobody's business, and we don't have any other alternative as of right now, that needs to change. And I'm glad that we have things like 𝐂𝐻𝐿 and Paralives in the background. You know, rest in peace to Life by You. I don't know what the hell happened to that. So I'm excited. They're also releasing these My Sims games from the yesteryear. I never played these titles growing up, but people really enjoyed these. They're getting remade and released. And honestly, The Sims is just what it is. So hopefully, you know, we just have better alternatives in the future. And that's all I got to say for today's episode. See you on the next one.